be a little bit of our reader's workshop today. We've only got about 15 minutes here, but I want to take this time to teach you guys something. So, when you are collecting words, have you ever noticed that sometimes there are words that have the same sound but a different meaning? Yeah. So, like, give me an example. Can you think of an example of something? Hassan?
Like corn and horn.
Okay, those words rhyme. Yep, corn and horn, but they sound different. Like you hear the at the beginning and the so corn and horn, those are rhyming words, but their beginning sounds are different. Can you think of a word that has the same sound, but maybe it's spelled differently? DJ?
Two.
Good, yeah, two, and two, right? They have 3 different meanings and 3 different ways to spell it. That's a good example. Riley? Your, yep, and you are. Good. Cat. Explain. What are the 2 different meanings?
There's C-A-C-A-T, and there's K-A-T.
Like, are you thinking about like the company that's called like cat? Is there a company that's spelled with a K? Maybe? Sometimes like companies do that, right? They'll take a word that like is commonly spelled one way and they'll change it and make it like their company name because people already know how to pronounce it. Did you think of one?
8.
8, yes. Good, that's a great example. Yeah, 8, like E-I-G-H-T, or 8, like A-T-E, like you ate something, you ate a bite of the apple. So I want to introduce you to one of my favorite authors. This is Peggy Parrish, and she writes the Amelia Bedelia books. Give me a thumbs up if you've ever heard of the Amelia Bedelia books. Amelia Bedelia, thumbs down, thank you. She was one of my favorite characters to read about because she kind of has a problem. And one of her problems is that she takes everything she hears very literally. Like if somebody says, I don't want to give away too many examples. I just want to get reading, okay? So I'm going to start reading, and then I want you to give me a thumbs up if you notice something that maybe Amelia Bedelia is misunderstanding, okay? So these are the Amelia Bedelia books. I have also a collection here that I'm going to leave in our reading center if you want to read some more later. This one is called Amelia Bedelia by Peggy Parrish and pictures by Fritz Siebel. I think this is the first book in the Amelia Bedelia series. I'm going to read the back to you. It says, introducing Amelia Bedelia. From dressing the chicken to dusting the furniture, Amelia Bedelia does exactly what her employees tell her. But somehow, things don't turn out quite right. Mila?
Maybe if someone said jump in the car, she would actually jump.
Yes. Good example. Oh, Amelia Bedelia, your first day of work, and I can't be here. But I made a list for you. You just do what the list says, said Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers got into the cart with Mr. Rogers. They drove away. I'll take questions at the end, okay? I'll give you guys time to turn and talk. My, what nice folks. I'm gonna like working here, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia went inside. Such a grand house. These must be rich folks. But I must get to work. Here I stand just looking, and me with a whole list of things to do. Amelia Bedelia stood there a minute longer. I think I'll make a surprise for them. I'll make lemon meringue pie. I do make good pies. Keep those listening ears on to see if maybe you hear something kind of funny. So Amelia Bedelia went into the kitchen. She put a little of this and a pinch of that into a bowl. She mixed and she rolled. Soon her pie was ready to go into the oven. There, she said. That's done. Now, let's see what this list says. Amelia Bedelia read. Change the towels in the green bathroom. Amelia Bedelia found the green bathroom. These towels are very nice. Why change them, she thought. Oh no. Then Amelia Bedelia remembered what Mrs. Rogers had said. She must do just what the list told her. Well, all right, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia got some scissors. She snipped a little here and a little there, and she changed those towels. Turn and talk. How is she confused? How did she think? What did she think that Mrs. Rogers was asking her to do?
Like make food. Make food? Everything, Harley?
3, 2, 1. Eyes up here. I heard my friend Quinn say that, like, Mrs. Rogers was asking her to, like, put fresh new towels in the bathroom, like to change out the towels, right? And DJ, what did you say she did instead?
She like snipped the towels instead of just putting them in the dryer and switching them out with clean towels.
Yeah. So, oh, go ahead.
Switched them out.
Yeah.
But like actually.
So instead of switching the towels out for clean ones, which would make sense, she changed how the towels looked by like snipping and cutting and making them look different, okay?
They look pretty
Oh my goodness. There, said Amelia Bedelia. She looked at her list again. Dust the furniture. Did you ever hear tell of such a silly thing? At my house, we undust the furniture, but to each his own way. Oh no, Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia took one last look at the bathroom. She saw a big box with the words dusting powder on it. Oh no, think in your brains. Make a prediction. Whisper it into your shell. What's she about to do? Mila Pierce says that she's about to dust the furniture by putting dusting powder on them. Amelia Bedelia. Well, look at that. A special powder to dust with, exclaimed Amelia Bedelia. So, Amelia Bedelia dusted the furniture. Oh, that should be dusty enough. My, how nice it smells. Oh, no. What did Mrs. Rogers really want her to do, Christian?
She wanted to dust it, though. Like, she wanted to undust it.
Yeah, she wanted her to undust the furniture. Draw the drapes when the sun comes in. What does that really mean? Draw the drapes when the sun comes in. Ronnie, what does that mean?
It means like close them.
Yeah.
It's like because it'll get like too hot in there.
Yup. Amelia Bedelia looked up. The sun was coming in. Amelia Bedelia looked at the list again. Draw the drapes. That's what it says. I'm not much of a hand at drawing, but I'll try. She's so funny. So Amelia Bedelia sat right down and she drew those drapes.
Oh, she
Amelia Bedelia marked off about the drapes. Now what? Put the lights out when you finish in the living room. Amelia Bedelia thought about this a minute. She switched off the lights, then she carefully unscrewed each bulb.
What is she not doing?
And Amelia Bedelia put those lights out.
Oh no.
So those things need to be aired out too, just like pillows and babies. Oh, I do have a lot to learn.
I hope you're talking about baby dolls. Not babies.
My pie! Exclaimed Amelia Bedelia. She hurried to the kitchen. Ah, just right, she said. She took the pie out of the oven and put it on the table to cool. Then she looked at the list.
Oh, can I see it again? Oh, yeah, so.
Amelia Bedelia. Oh, I skipped a page. My bad. Measure the cups of rice. That's next, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia found 2 cups. She filled them with rice, and Amelia Bedelia measured that rice. What is she using? What tool is she using to measure? Araya?
Measuring tape?
A measuring tape. Oh my goodness. Girl.
She's not doing anything.
Amelia Bedelia laughed. These folks do want me to do the funniest things. Then she poured the rice back into the container.
What did she actually do? She's supposed to measure the rice.
In the container.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no. The meat market will deliver a steak and a chicken. Please trim the fat before you put the steak into the icebox. And please dress the chicken. When the meat arrived, Amelia Bedelia opened the bag. She looked at the steak for a long time. Yes, she said, that will do nicely.
I know what they mean by dress the chicken.
I do too.
Think in your mind, hold it in there. Amelia Bedelia got some lace and bits of ribbon. And Amelia Bedelia trimmed that fat before she put the steak in the icebox. Now I must dress the chicken. I wonder if she wants a he chicken or a she chicken, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia went right to work. Soon the chicken was finished. What's she doing, Ronnie?
She's dressing the chicken.
But how? Like she's like putting like the stuffing in it and like the marinade.
She's putting clothes on it instead of like putting like the sauce on it, instead of trimming like the fat off the steak.
Mm-hmm. Christian?
I know what they're talking about as like they're talking about as like so it's Thanksgiving and you have a turkey
Mm-hmm.
and that turkey is not just it's not just it's supposed to be like fancy.
Mm-hmm. Amelia Bedelia heard the door open. The folks are back, she said. She rushed out to meet them. No. Think in your noggin, make a prediction. What do you think they're gonna say? Oh, think in your noggin. That's not out loud.
They're going to say, magnificent.
Amelia Bedelia, why are all the light bulbs outside? Asked Mr. Rogers. The list just said to put the lights out, said Amelia Bedelia. I didn't say to bring them back in. Oh, I do hope they didn't need to get aired too long. Amelia Bedelia, the sun will fade the furniture. I asked you to draw the drapes, said Mrs. Rogers. I did, see, said Amelia Bedelia. She held up her picture. Then Mrs. Rogers saw the furniture. The furniture, she cried. Did I dust it well? Said Amelia Bedelia. That's such a nice dusting powder.
Wait, why do they have a dusting powder?
It's for your face.
Yeah.
It's like makeup.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Rogers went to wash his hands. I say, he called, these are very unusual towels. Mrs. Rogers dashed into the bathroom. Oh, my best towels, she said. Didn't I change them enough? Asked Amelia Bedelia. Mrs. Rogers went to the kitchen. I'll cook the dinner. Where's the rice I asked you to measure? I put it back in the container, but I remember I measured 4.5 inches, said Amelia Bedelia. She wanted her to measure the amount of rice
Said
she
they
would
have
need
to
to cook.
boil.
Was the meat delivered? Asked Mrs. Rogers. Yes, said Amelia Bedelia. I trimmed the fat just like you said. It does look nice. Mrs. Rogers rushed to the icebox. She opened it. Lace? Ribbons? Oh dear, said Mrs. Rogers.
What did you
I think that's like a fancy way of saying like dress something up. We'll have to look that one up. I'm not exactly sure. The chicken you dressed? The chicken? Asked Mrs. Rogers. Like she put him in overalls. Yes, and I found the nicest box to put him in, said Amelia Bedelia. Box! Exclaimed Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers hurried over to the box. She lifted the lid, and there lay the chicken, and he was just as dressed as he could be. I know, he's wearing little socks. It's so funny. I'm almost done, Francine. Mrs. Rogers was angry. She was very angry. She opened her mouth. Mrs. Rogers meant to tell Amelia Bedelia she was fired, but before she could get the words out, Mr. Rogers put something in her mouth. It was so good, Mrs. Rogers forgot about being angry. Put it in a bubble when you know what it is. Almost done. Lemon meringue pie, she exclaimed. I made it to surprise you, said Amelia happily. So right then and there, Mr. and Mrs. Rogers decided that Amelia Bedelia could stay. And so she did. Mrs. Rogers learned to say undust the furniture, unlight the lights, close the drapes, and things like that. Mr. Rogers didn't care if Amelia Bedelia trimmed all of his steaks with lace.
What is that?
I think she thought it meant put like a trim around the steak. So she put a trim of like ribbon around the steak. All he cared about was having her there to make lemon meringue pie.
Yeah.
The end. Okay, friends. So there are tons of Amelia Bedelia books that you can read about all of her shenanigans. So I'm going to keep these up here, and I'm sure we will have time to read some more later. My friends, no thanks. No thank you. Virtual friends, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see ya soon.